Welcome to www.staxi.com. Today's topic, there's much vital wheelchair equipment. When Raymond Burr played Detective Ironside in the eponymous show back in the 60s, it was just him, his wheelchair, and his faithful assistant. By and large, fictionalized use of wheelchairs in television and movies still follows that rule today. There is virtually no mention or consideration of wheelchair equipment. This makes for easier filming, but leaves people whose primary awareness of this mode of transport largely ignorant of the accoutrements that may need to be incorporated into even the most temporary use. Wheelchair equipment does not need to be complicated, but it can be essential and therefore needs to be taken into consideration when looking into purchasing transport chairs for institutional use. Many standard brands only have the most basic equipment necessary to use the chair. This is clearly insufficient. One of the goals of this essential equipment for hospitals, airports, and shopping malls should be the ease of accessorization. For example, if an airline passenger who requires a transport chair to progress through the airport, the wheelchair should not only be able to carry the person, but easily hold an oxygen tank or other necessities, because it is assumed that they will be customized as needed by the owner and are not geared toward the idea of meeting the needs of temporary passengers. In addition to items such as oxygen tanks, wheelchair equipment can include IV holders, cushions, seat belts, even pediatric seat belts. These can and should be standard in models used in hospitals or other care setting. While most people who are traveling with IVs are not doing so aboard commercial carriers, the addition of seat belts for both adults and children could be incredibly useful in non-medical settings such as airports, libraries, and shopping malls. While we have often not considered the need for a security belt in most wheelchairs, even something moving at the speed of the person pushing it can come to a sudden stop, and institutional liability is vastly reduced if the occupant is securely in the transport chair. An auto-braking function is something else that should be standard. Other features lacked by most of the models used in institutional settings are things that seem to be only common sense. Many people with mobility issues also have circulatory problems, as the two go hand in hand. In recent years, there have been much in the news about thrombosis, where a blood clot develops from the legs, remaining too long in a sitting position, and ultimately travels into the heart or lungs. The simple addition of elevated leg rests can allow the occupant to make sure that their circulation remains unimpeded and prevent the formation of such potentially fatal clots. Wheelchair equipment includes not only features for the safety and comfort of the occupant, although that is certainly primary, but also with the security of the chair itself. A nestable transport chair that can be securely locked using a coin return or other method is far less prone to theft than standard models. The additions of a nameplate with a traceable serial number makes theft even less likely or profitable. Addition of this wheelchair equipment therefore leads to a much more secure and inexpensive product. To find out more information on topics like this, please go to www.staxi.com.